Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we dive into one of the most important, and potentially game-changing, developments in naval warfare in 2025, China's brand new Type 076 amphibious assault ship, reportedly the world's first dedicated drone carrier. This isn't just another warship, it's a bold fusion of amphibious assault capability, drone warfare, and carrier-style aviation power. If fully operational, this single vessel could reshape power equations across the Indo-Pacific. But what exactly makes it so special? And should the world be worried? Let's unpack it. In December 2024, China launched the first ship of this class, named Sichuan, Hull 51, from the Hudong-Zhonghua Shipyard in Shanghai. The Type 076 design has a full-length flight deck, electromagnetic catapult, and arresting gear. Features usually found only on full aircraft carriers. With a full load displacement of over 40,000 tons, it's one of the largest amphibious assault ships in the world. It isn't just a helicopter carrier or landing dock. It is designed to carry and launch fixed-wing drones, UAVs, potentially even light carrier-based aircraft, along with helicopters and amphibious forces. That's why many analysts and even state media refer to it as a drone carrier. Henry Mascher didn't understand Guinea au perhaps the first of its kind in the world. In short, Type 076 equals amphibious assault ship, drone carrier, and light carrier hybrid, a new breed of warship. The key innovation is the electromagnetic catapult system, EMALS. This allows heavier, fixed-wing drones or aircraft to launch from a smaller deck, something previously only possible on supercarriers. Combined with the arresting gear system, the Type 076 mimics a catapult-arrested takeoff and barrier recovery, or catabar, configuration, giving the plan flexibility to launch and recover fixed-wing drones or even manned jets if required. The ship features a dual-island superstructure, wide flight deck, elevators to move aircraft between hangar and deck, and a well deck for amphibious landing craft or assault vehicles, preserving troop transport and landing capability alongside drone and air operations. Essentially, it merges three roles: amphibious assault ship for troop and vehicle landings, helicopter carrier, and a light carrier for unmanned or fixed-wing aviation operations. That kind of multi-role flexibility is rare, maybe even unique globally. This hybrid design gives China's Navy some serious options: flexibility, surprise, and scalability. So why has China invested in such a complex hybrid vessel? There are multiple strategic motivations. The plan has explicitly stated that Type 076 is meant to enhance uncrewed combat capabilities. In other words, drones and robotic weaponry are now central to China's naval vision. In a potential amphibious operation, for example around Taiwan or other contested islands, this ship gives China an ability to launch drones or fixed-wing UAVs for reconnaissance, strike, electronic warfare. Before Eigenstein and Yas, amphibious landing begins. That's a massive force multiplier. Because it carries amphibious forces, drones and aircraft, and amphibious landing craft, Type 076 can support combined operations, drone-based ISR and strike, special forces insertion, and amphibious landings, all from one hull. That makes it ideal for a first-wave assault or coercive presence missions. From a broader viewpoint, this reflects China's shift toward drone-centric naval warfare, combining unmanned mass, electronic warfare, and traditional sea power, potentially redefining sea control in the Indo-Pacific. In short, it's not just about ships, it's about a new doctrine: drones, amphibious, and carrier tasks, all in one package. On 14 November 2025, the Sichuan, which is a Type 076, began its very first sea trial, sailing from the Hudong-Zhonghua yard to the Yangtze estuary. The trial focused mainly on power systems, propulsion, and stability, which are all super crucial, since EMALS needs a massive amount of electrical power and a really stable platform. The first trial lasted 3 days, and, well, sources say it achieved expected results. Not long after, reports started surfacing, things like navigation warnings and maritime safety notices, pointing to a second sea trial. That suggests a fast track to deployment, with delivery expected by the end of 2026. This quick progression, from its launch in December 2024 to trials in late 2025, really highlights just how urgent and important China considers this vessel for its naval modernization plans. Let's talk for a minute about why the world, especially navies and strategic planners in the Indo-Pacific, should really be paying attention. First, there's drone-centric naval power projection. If the Type 076 starts operating fixed-wing drones, or even lighter-manned aircraft, China gets a cheaper, stealthier, and more flexible alternative to those big supercarriers. Drone sorties cost less, they risk fewer pilots, and they can be launched in swarms. Second, you've got this amphibious plus air plus drone thing, all in one package. In a Taiwan contingency scenario, or, during South China Sea tensions, the Type 076 could handle multiple roles: aerial surveillance and strike via UAVs, amphibious landings, special forces insertion, electronic warfare, the whole thing, all coordinated. That kind of multi-mission flexibility really complicates defense planning for any adversary. Third, there's the distributed fleet and resilience angle. With assets like the Type 076, China doesn't have to rely only on a few supercarriers. Instead, it can spread its aviation power across multiple ships, making it way harder for an opponent to knock out Chinese naval air power with a single strike. Fourth, there's strategic surprise and gray zone operations. The Type 076 could be perfect not just for all-out conflict, but also for those gray zone operations, shows of force, or limited amphibious or drone-based missions in disputed areas, giving China a tool for coercion that stops short of open war. And fifth, there's the risk of a naval arms race and regional instability. This kind of hybrid drone carrier could push neighboring navies and powers like the US, Japan, India, Australia, and Taiwan to speed up their own anti-drone, anti-amphibious ship, and anti-carrier tech. The balance of power in Asia's maritime zones could shift in a big way. If the Type 076 becomes operational and is joined by similar vessels, the naval dynamics of the Indo-Pacific could fundamentally change. But, before we get too alarmed or, jump to conclusions, we've got to be realistic about what we still don't know. While sea trials have started, the really big test is still out there, launching and recovering fixed-wing drones or aircraft from the deck. Emails-driven takeoffs and arrested recoveries are super complex, and whether the Type 076 can actually operate drones under real sea conditions is still up in the air. It's also not clear what kind of drones or aircraft the plan will actually deploy on the Type 076. Media and analysts talk a lot about unmanned combat aerial vehicles, or UCAVs, but whether these will be stealthy, long-range drones like the reported GJ-11 or just simpler UAVs is still mostly speculation. Running an amphibious plus aviation plus drone hybrid ship takes some pretty complex logistics, maintenance, crew and drone pilot training, and coordination. Pulling all that off, especially under combat conditions, is a huge challenge. And finally, as with any new class of warship, real-world effectiveness and survivability are still untested. In a high-intensity conflict, vulnerabilities, like air defense, anti-ship missiles, or submarine threats, might pop up. So yeah, the Type 076 looks revolutionary on paper, but its real-world performance is yet to be seen. So, here's the bottom line. The Type 076 amphibious assault ship, the Sichuan, could really mark a paradigm shift in naval power projection, merging amphibious assault capability, drone and UAV warfare, and light carrier aviation all into one really versatile platform. If it actually delivers on these promises, we might be witnessing the start of a whole new era, where drone-centric, distributed, and flexible fleets start to replace those traditional carrier-centric navies. For the Indo-Pacific region, and honestly beyond, the strategic balance could be in for some major changes.